Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Hello, beautiful people.
So, good day yesterday, fun day. This was a Critical Galactic Federation update talking about perhaps direct intervention. This was channeled information that Cindy got, and we shared again. That was a Patreon exclusive. You could join the Patreon family for as little as 90 cents a month when you pay for a year in advance at the $1 level. Each tier does have its own unique benefits. We did this one on HeartZone, which is the newest channel. You see over here a conversation with a spirit guardian of nature. And this was also channeled, but there's video too where you can actually see spirit orbs coming and going. And this was also on our property, as was this, where you can actually see coming out of our shed an entity that people pick up as a humanoid figure. Very, very interesting stuff caught on film. It was a fun day yesterday.
Yeah, it's kind of like welcome to my world.
Well, you know what? Things haven't been dull since I've been here.
No, it's just par for the course. This is part of having an activated light body. It definitely causes beings to stop and come by and say hi. Now, this would do the same thing for a lot of people when they looked up yesterday. As you see, Starship 8 blown up from, this is from being up in a flight, which I don't think I'd want to be up in the air with this debris coming all over the place. Oh, man, this was crazy, and I had to show Cindy this. Hey, here you go, the debris coming on down. You know, what was exactly the scenario with this? It does seem like Elon is in a lot of people's bullseye at this point in time. And, you know, a lot of people have a lot of different thoughts. But Cindy picked up immediately. Again, this is an act of war, so to speak, on the bigger level. And this one, it was only 8 minutes in to the flight when it started to have some issues and spiral out of control. The FAA actually halted flights into several Florida airports because of this, failed launch. Now, it launched from Texas. This is a view. I believe this was from the Bahamas. This view, just craziness. What's really, really going on here? This right here shows again. We've seen this type of looks like a spiral galaxy almost many times with these launches, but here it goes out of control, and then ultimately it met its demise. Is somebody trying to send Elon a message? Well, we covered some information on one of our Patreon exclusives going into detail about what we got going on. And there is a very, very high level war underway. As you know, we are in a galactic interdimensional war, and it extends through more than one dimension as far as what's visible to humans. And it's been going on a very, very long time. I do think that what you have is you have beings sending a message here to try to keep the script going as planned.
You know, it makes it very, very difficult when you're going into a Bronze Age and your people are naturally connecting to their higher selves. To resist and deny and not do the things that you're scripted to do can really get one in trouble.
You know, when I see this, I'm thinking of the general population. How much fuel was on board, and where does it go? I mean, obviously, it comes down, and is it, going into the water supply, or people breathing this stuff in? I mean, the risk for, some piece of debris hitting your house or your car or your boat, or even being a private pilot flying and all of a sudden the debris hits you. So, I mean, if this was like a one-time thing, maybe, but this is over and over, and it's just like, well, shouldn't there be something in place that, I don't know, like, hey, obviously accidents do happen, but this, I mean, it doesn't seem like an accident.
It would be nice if they took us into consideration for once.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the Bahamas again. Only 8 minutes into the flight, FAA stopped all flights into Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, and Orlando until 8 o'clock last night over concerns about falling space debris. These are really interesting times. Think back. I mean, it wasn't too long ago we had all this drone stuff going on, and there still is. It's just that it's taken a back seat, and it's not quite at that same level. We're in a different time period, and our reality is shifting, and we do get that entire belief systems will be antiquated over the coming months and years, and a new way of looking at things it's inevitable. It's absolutely inevitable. So is this a message? Because when I said to Cindy, what do you think happened? And immediately she picks up that, this is a draconian reptilian message.
Well, it is, and we covered this on the Patreon that we posted yesterday. So that information came before this thing happened. So there is that interdimensional issue that we have going on here that I don't think we can just turn a blind eye to.
Yesterday we were talking, or maybe it was the day before, how I have this feeling of a divine intervention, and it may be pushed. So because we do have free will. And so the good guys, the white hats, whatever you want to call them, that are on the other side there, they don't want to influence us because of non-intervention, but they may be forced by the bad guys doing what they're doing. And things like this is what I'm looking at going, is there going to be some event that happens that just pushes or catapults us into this divine intervention?
Yeah, and again, so much of what has been our accepted way of viewing the universe is going to change. There was a strike in Ukraine, a larger strike that occurred. Again, we have that issue going on. We still have all sorts of economic indicators showing that we're heading towards some sort of major economic correction. Again, how they've been saying for my entire life, when's the debt bubble going to burst? So it's been ongoing for a long time, but there's signs that this could be the year. And you have the U.S. decoupling from NATO to a degree, and also the EU to a degree, and there's a re-scrambling of the power structure going on. I was reading an article talking about how Poland, Germany, and France are kind of vying a little bit to see who's going to lead the European Union in the next thing to come as far as the structure goes on. That was just talking about the fact that Russia may look to take advantage of the decoupling of the U.S. from the EU. And, the UK left the EU. And then you have what we know is a powerhouse of a business. The two biggest businesses are, healthcare related and war, and they go hand in hand. And so you have Lockheed Martin can grow the skin of an aircraft that contains sensors and stores energy without any wire. Data flows through the structure. They have new materials that change shape on command, like a muscular material. They can make autonomous aircraft that change shape and make swarms of small ones that learn and interact with a larger vehicle. Well, you have different insiders saying that we're anywhere from 50 to 150 years ahead of what the public thinks where we're at as far as technology. And then you still have people who think that we live seriously in an iron dome that you cannot escape, and that we are the only life that there is out there. This is what I'm talking about with paradigms changing. You have such a wide divide. Again, I would encourage everyone to, go and explore the Vedic texts, the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, the Bhagavata Purana, because you can find in these ancient Hindu texts, they give you a description of the different lokas, the different worlds out there. There are many different worlds. They clearly say beings come here from other planets as well as other dimensions. They do speak about demonic entities, and they speak also about heavenly entities that are much more angelic and benevolent to humanity. But they also tell you clearly that you are living in a small little planet way on the fringe of what is a massive intergalactic, interdimensional war that's been ongoing for all of our known history. And, again, all this is understood, the shape of the Milky Way galaxy, how big it is, and as far as traveling in light years. They understood, too, the quantum world and how our own in thoughts and intentions help to form our reality. All this was shared quite openly in the Hindu Vedic tradition. And yet it was also shared in others that were a little bit more covert in nature because of persecution. Meanwhile, you have so much being uncovered as far as we were being sold a bill of fake goods here. Whole Foods, again, was bought up by Amazon. And now you see this. Wait a minute. Is it not really organic? Things that are marked organic? And we all know about that Gil character with his appeal stuff that was approved by, again, FDA. You get the realization that everything has been one huge PSY op on all of us. Everything. And, again, it goes from our political system to our religious system. A lot of people out there, can't handle it. Some, are going to have a hard time handling it. And so, if it's coming from the fine dining ware country here, there's all sorts of things. Like I just ordered some new coffee mugs, and you got to make sure you specify lead-free because, you're likely to get lead in your coffee mug, which, again, is going to toxify you over time. It's just insanity, really.
It's truly a mess, having to specify lead-free in your drinking utensils and other utensils, where have we gone? And then, I really felt that with Whole Foods a little while ago, like the atmosphere had changed. You could tell they were very much in the system. The rules and regulations were absolutely just horrible.
When that hit me, it was actually when we were with Joe, and it was in Flagstaff.
That's right.
Remember when we had to go in one person at a time in Flagstaff, Arizona?
Yeah.
And
Yep. I always said, what better way to target the healthy in the country or the world than to target the people that are being conscious of the USDA organic?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So again, USDA, FDA, It's all about cashola. That's the reality. Meanwhile, Trump tariffs. U.S. pauses tariffs on some Canadian and Mexican imports until April 2nd now. So it's been a week of retaliatory actions, warnings of price hikes from businesses, and wild price swings in the markets, investors and business leaders on edge about the escalating trade war. So, here you go again. About 50% of Mexican imports, 38% of Canadian imports are covered by the trade agreement. According to a White House official, Trump is poised to enact reciprocal tariffs on April 2nd on foreign nations that have imported taxes on U.S. goods. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum said Mexico should be spared when such reciprocal tariffs come into effect. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said his goal remains to get all tariffs removed. Thursday's tariff exceptions excluded those imposed on China. The country is standing tough, saying it's prepared to fight any type of war with the U.S. Here you have Macron, again, as many people say, Here he is. He's just like, Zelensky in that, again, I wonder if he has an IMDb page. He very well may. Peace is only achievable in Europe with a weakened Russia. Yeah. And again, he's going to support Ukraine. In fact, some thought they saw him flying and parachuting into Ukraine. Look, breaking. Macron has parachuted into Ukraine.
There he is. There he is. Everybody look. Joe's just having fun now.
Oh, man. It's the Macron or the Micron invasion of Ukraine. Again, get out in nature, take care of yourself, mind, body, spirit, exercise daily, take care of your temple. It's again, it should be your number one priority, because, you have to have that healthy mind, healthy body in order to achieve the highest frequency you can.
I think horses are awesome, and our governments should give us enough money to house and take care of a horse, because that's the way life should be.
Nature in general, I mean, when you get into all this news and chaos and everything that's around you, I try to get out every day and even just for a few minutes ground into Mother Earth, into nature, and try to release some of this anxiety and stress.
So if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe. Do help us with the algorithms, leaving a comment and thumbs up. And this is Dr. Joe's newest channel, which we just basically broke ground on this week. It's called A Guiding Light. And then also he does have Universal Talking, which has some new videos up, but also some great old ones going way back, back into the times before all this chaos, when we were looking and saying, I wonder what chaos is coming in the future. I wonder what change is coming in the future, as well as you see a lot of just being out there in nature. So again, guys, as always, thank you so much for your support. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.